Fags, talk to us about Zane. How good to get his first game?
Yeah, it's exciting for him. He's been with us for 3 years now. He was a little bit slow early to get going because he had a lot of injuries in his first year. Last year he started to show what he could do, and this pre-season's been very good. I mean, he's a little bit fortuitous in the fact that we've got a couple of ruckmen not available for this game, but nevertheless he's earned his spot in the team through performance. So particularly last week when he got the opportunity. So good on him.
So he'll play that second ruck role, a little undersized, but he's got the good.
Yeah, he's actually quite flexible. He can play. He can play in the ruck and he can play key back or key forward. So he does actually give us nice flexibility.
The rest of the selection, obviously Noah's still waiting. Dan didn't get the call up yet. Kind of talk us through picking that Spurs side.
Oh, it was a hard side to pick. There's some good players not playing. There's some players that showed great form in the pre-season that are not playing. You mentioned Noah Answorth. Noah probably needs another full game or two before he'll be ready for AFL. And who was the other one you mentioned?
Dan.
Dan Annabelle, yeah. No, he played really well in the reserves practice game last week, but it's a pretty stacked midfield that we have. It's a difficult one to break into. He was close, obviously in amongst the emergencies, but no, his day will come, I'm sure.
Chris, how's Kadeen? You know, I guess I think he only played 2 games in 2 years. How eager is he and keen?
Yeah, so he's the shape he came back to the club in the end of his break between seasons was outstanding. It's the best I've ever seen him. It's probably the fittest he's ever been. And I guess, you know, given he came back last year, but the knee was still problematic to him really. And in the end, he got some other injuries which sort of wiped him out of the team. But no, he's ready to go. He's played in all our practice games. You know, he couldn't be any better condition than what he is at the moment. So look forward to hopefully him having a good year.
You've tinkered with playing him forward a little bit. It looks like there's spots in the back line. Is that where you'll try and settle him down, or are you still figuring that through?
Yeah, the pre-season was a little bit about finding out who could do what, in a way. Like, you want that flexibility in games to move blokes from forward to back if you can get it. So we tinkered with Lincoln McCarthy. We did the same with Kitty. There's probably a few others that we did as well. But it's just all for good information if you ever need to use it during a game. But he'll most likely play as a defender in this game.
Oscar Allen plays his first game, obviously. I'm sure he'll be trying to make an impression with his new teammates, but what's been your message to him ahead of this game?
Yeah, he was jumping out of his skin at training yesterday, that's for sure. No, we just want him to do, like all of our tall forwards, we just want him to provide a really strong contest. Hopefully he can mark a few of those, but if he can't, you know, bring it to ground. And I think given his experience in leadership at the West Coast Eagles, I think he'll be a really handy player in our forward line just to help with the organisational side of things. He's quite vocal, which I really like.
Has it been, or how much of a setback was it for him to not play last week when he's, I'm sure he's trying to build chemistry with his new teammates?
Yeah, because you'd prefer, is it a B? You'd prefer, you'd prefer that he would have played last week, but nothing in football is ever ideal. The concussion that he had he recovered very quickly from it, which was the good thing. So he was back in training pretty much. So last weekend the work he did was simulated game practice. So yeah, I'm okay. That is an experienced player. He's had a lot of campaigns, so there'll be a little bit of connection stuff, I suppose, but that will take time anyway, I think.
They're obviously different types of players, but similarities to Joe in the fact that he's come to the club with experience and a seasoned player. Do you expect like a little difficult transition time to build that connection and chemistry?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Oscar's he's very confident. He socially he's great. He's mixed in with his teammates really well. It feels like he's been around here for a long time. So I hope not, but it might take a little bit of time. I mean, it's sport, isn't it? And building connection and understanding patterns and habits of teammates does take a little bit of time. So maybe he will, maybe he won't. But he's done his best over the summer to try and make that not an issue.
The Dogs are obviously dangerous, probably underselling them as an opponent. Yeah,
more than dangerous. They were exceptional last week against Hawthorn. They were up and about. I actually went down and watched that game live, and I was happy when I turned up, and I walked away with a few headaches. No, they're going very well. You know, everybody's talked about their talent. It's obvious their midfield stacked, their forward line's quite brilliant, with different sorts of options and challenges for us. And their back line's quite new. They've got a few new players in there, so there's a little bit of unknown about that. They know us well, we know them well. It shapes for a really great contest, I reckon, but I'm sure they'll be trying to get a win on the board early, as will we be.
You like the really difficult tests to start your season, to see where you're at?
I don't think about it too much, because I think you take more notice of the competition when we're 5 to 6 weeks in, and you can start to see some patterns. Round one doesn't always reveal everything about a season, so pretty open-minded about that. We all want to start with a win though, because it's better than starting with a loss, because you're on the front foot. But yeah, no preference there.
Sam Draper's, I think, is listed as a week on your injury report. Providing nothing happens in the next week, would you expect him to be available?
Yeah, that would be right. He trained yesterday, was jumping and doing ruck contests, which is what you want to see. When you've had a little bit of a stress reaction in your foot, he's had a great rehab. He's been going pretty well for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's a shame that he didn't get to play in the pre-season. But again, you know, you don't get to choose those things. He's another one like Oscar that's fitted in incredibly well with the group. He's an extrovert sort of a character that our guys love. So we'll just add to the few that we've already got.
Chris, I guess the talk this year will be about, you know, 3 in a row, you know, matching the team from the early 2000s. How do the players sort of block that out and just go, you know, sort of, you know, I guess, you know, week by week? Yeah.
Oh, look, we've always been a pretty process-driven team. I mean, at the start of last year, we were talking about going back to back, and you know, at the start of this year, we won't be talking about trying to win 3 in a row. It's obviously a topic, and our players would be aware of it. But you know, we're all equal at the moment. We're all on 0. Well, other than Sydney, who won last night, they're the only team that's got 4 points at the moment. So no, we just got to knuckle down and, you know, work hard through the season, problem solve our way through, find a way to win enough games to play finals again, and take it from there. But it's really easy to say, much harder to do. I always feel like the competition is getting more and more even, and you know, when you win the premiership, you never get the world's easiest draw, and everyone's trying to beat you because you're the measuring stick. So it's a pressure that we're accustomed to, but it's going to come again. There's no doubt about that, and we've just got to be, you know, be that selfless team that we've been for the last couple of years, and see how far we can go again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. All the best.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.